Alrighty guys, today we are going to be looking at my little sketchbook, which I've been religiously carrying since August 4th, I believe, of last year. And I got into this and started this long before it became like the trend, like, oh, take a little pocket notebook with you everywhere you go and it'll change your life. This is something I did because I actually found one of these, or my mom found one of these for like a couple cents, and she had them laying around the house, and I was like, I could use one of those. So that's why I started this, but I just want to take you through and look at it because it is so cool to see, like, just looking back through it, it's so cool to see like the different places that you were in your life, and you can kind of tell because you go back and you look at each photo in your life, or each drawing, and you're just, it's like photos, but they mean so much more because you can vividly remember sitting there and working on it. Anyways, so I'm by no means good at drawing or sketching, and I by no means think that I am somebody to look up to, but I am making this because I hope that others can draw some form of inspiration from it.
Alright, so our first sketch. After I did this drawing, I remember coming back like a few days later and then adding more like things to it. Then I remember hating it, like wishing I hadn't done it. So after redrawing onto this drawing, I decided that once I finished a page, like once I stepped away from it, I was not allowed to go back and add anything to it or change it. So as soon as I finished, once the date goes on there, it's untouchable. Just makes it a very final process, and that was really freeing for me. This is a landscape in Indiana, I believe. It's on the way to a friend of mine's church. But this pen that I used for these beginning drawings, I loved this pen. It, like, you could get the perfect little texture and like detail with it. And it was just a crappy pen. It was nothing special, but that pen was amazing. And I'll also, if I have references of what I was drawing, I'll put that up on the screen so you can see what it was supposed to look like. And then this is just a hand drawing. I have an odd obsession with hands and the way they work and like drawing them. It's so cool to me. So I think this is actually my hand. But doing a little Korean heart, you know, or Asian, I guess. It's not probably just Korean, but this is a character from a video game that I was playing with a friend of mine at the time, and I thought it was really interesting and unique, so I gave it a go. Another landscape. Again, this pen was impeccable. I loved doing landscapes with this pen. This is just a road that I drive really often. It's by no means impressive. In fact, the vanishing point and everything, the thickness of the lines, it's rough, but you know, just getting in the habit of doing it. This one I was experimenting with, like, I don't remember who was a famous painter, something about like the width of the tree trunk, at the tip of all of the branches, like all of that should be able to add up into the like trunk of the tree. So I think I was experimenting with that. I don't know that I really did a very good job, but it was a shot. This is probably my favorite pen drawing that I've ever done. This is a friend of mine's driveway, and I absolutely love this one. Just the textures and everything. It's so cool. But like, this is the driveway. It's all gravel, and then there's like their house right here. Their little shed. I just love this one so much. And then I'm also a bit of a graphics designer. I haven't done it in forever. But these were design ideas, which I believe I did a couple of these at least. And I will put those up on screen as well. But yeah, just super simple. I remember having this idea while on a road trip, and so I just sketched it out because I didn't have the access to work on it immediately. But this is another design idea. I never ended up doing this one. It just didn't end up being really my style. So, and this one again, another landscape. This is in Indiana. This is a bean field. This is near my grandparents' place. Every time I go up and visit, I like to be able to go to this field and watch the sunset because it's beautiful. Like, Indiana sunsets are the most incredible thing ever because it's just so flat. But the sunset's like right here, and it's just beautiful. Love it. Again, in Indiana, their sunsets, impeccable, absolutely impeccable. This is at my best friend's place. This is the cornfield across the way, but it's just beautiful. I love it, love it, love it. Another design idea, this one looks a little possessed. I didn't get the proportions right, like the human proportions are decent, but the chair and like everything, it just didn't work. But I never ended up making this design. It didn't really it didn't really make sense to me. It didn't flesh out. I didn't flesh it out, if that makes sense. This is a really special one. This is my best friend and I, and I drew this on her birthday. I took her flowers for her birthday, and we sat and watched the sunset. It was gorgeous. Highly recommend. But I love this drawing so much. This again was a design idea, and I do think I did this one. So, it's super simple. The hands, I gave up on the hands, but everything else is relatively proportionately correct. So, and also keep in mind, these are all pen drawings. None of these so far have had a pencil sketch and then I drew it. It was just straight pen to paper. Again, another design idea. I think I did this one as well, or an ish version of it. I don't know. Again, another landscape. This is also, again, in Indiana. I spent a good chunk of my summer last year in Indiana. So, this is a cornfield right here, and this is a bean field. This is near my best friend's house, I think. I don't really remember, but I recognize it. And again, another one that's just super simple. It's nothing really special, but it's kind of like special to me, I guess. So it says some roads can't be rebuilt. Initially I had written some roads you have to let go of, and I changed it. I don't know. I'm not set on either of those. I don't really like either of them. But I love this drawing a lot. This is just a reference off of Pinterest, I think. But again, no pencil sketch. This is straight pen marking onto the paper. So the proportions being this good is impressive. At least for me. And so it's like, instead of the hair, because I didn't want to figure out how to do that mainly. And then instead of the hair, it's like an ocean, and you see the hand like reaching up, and then you see the storm clouds. Again, super simple, but I really like this one as well. This one is, I think I was bored. I was sitting at my computer and I didn't have my sketchbook, so I was drawing on sticky notes. So this one is a bonsai tree, I think is what it's called. And then this one, I was thinking like video game, adventure. Maybe this portal takes you to like a boss arena or something. I don't know, but I really love the textures on this one. Football season with my grandparents. I was bored. I don't like this drawing. I just couldn't figure it out, and I feel like the proportions are kind of off. It was just really difficult. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this one, personally. Again, in Indiana, this is a bean field here, and you could see the moon right here, and I really like this one because I have a picture of it, and the picture is really pretty. I love this picture. But yeah, this was just really cool. Okay, so I did a temporary job, and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and they were like, "Oh, I hate vegetables." I was like, "What do you mean you hate vegetables? You can't hate vegetables. There's gotta be a vegetable you like." It turns out there was not a single vegetable we could find that she liked. So I drew her worst nightmare. It's an onion and a carrot and some lettuce taking a selfie. There's so many laughs were had over this. It was amazing. This one is the up house, but symbolically not, if that makes sense. So I titled this one The Fragility of Hope, which I'm not even sure if that's a word or that's how you say that word, honestly. But we're gonna go with it. But it's like the up house and the clouds and the balloons are falling and deflating. And I really like this one. This one's really cool. But yeah, just a little, I guess a deep piece. It's not really deep, but I really like this one. This one is when I found out my cat had died. This is obviously a very, very hard moment, and this is not a good drawing by any means. But it means a lot to me just because of the memory of drawing it, and you can see I was like sobbing. But yeah, it was really sweet. And you can also, if you notice, I've now run out of my favorite pen. And about this time I came to a drought creatively because I couldn't find a pen that I liked, which sounds so stupid, but I'm telling you that pen was incredible. So I had a really hard time drawing just because I didn't like what I had to work with. But this is a Cream Puff in reference to Mashal, which is an anime, and it's so funny. I highly recommend. It's a great TV show. And I was just trying to get in the habit again because I lost my pen. I didn't have my pen. It ran out, and I just didn't like I lost my urge to draw because I didn't like the pen that I had to use. So I was just trying to get in the reps. Also, mushrooms, so fun to draw. You should try it. Again, just trying to get in the practice because I was annoyed. This one, I've had so many people say it looks like Snow White. That was not the intention. I just found a really pretty background on like Pinterest or something that I liked, and then a reference photo of the girl, and then I kind of like composited them, I guess, into a little sketch. But again, this is with no pencil before. This is just a straight pen sketch. This is a, I guess you could say, portrait of a friend of mine, and I will call it a success because if you know him, you'll see it and be like, oh, wait, like, I know who that is, like, whatever. But I don't know how, but I made him look Mexican, and he's not Mexican. I think I, like, got the face too long, maybe? Or, like, maybe his, like, eyes and nose and everything isn't big enough in proportion to his face. I don't know, but it's a half win. Especially for me who doesn't do faces or expressions and stuff. Again, still having trouble finding a pen I liked. This is just me trying to get in the habit. So I saw an artist that I follow. They were like, well, what I do for fun is, draw random shapes and fill it in. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. So like, here's a dumpling and ramen, which, amazing food, by the way. And then this one I'm really proud of. So this right here, this was like 3 different shapes or something. And so it's like a girl, maybe at like the beach or something. And there's like grass Hawaiian skirt thingies. So she's like wearing one of those, and she's like taking her shirt off, like her cover up, to go swimming. And there's like her sun hat. So I'm really proud of this one. I actually really like it. This one, again, just trying to get in the habit of drawing. So I did squares instead and just filled them in like little snippets. Again, random shapes. This is cursed. This is cursed. I don't really know. Things happen, folks. It's whatever. It was practice. It was doing it. It looks awful, but that's also what this book was for. This one, I have brothers. I don't know what else I need to say. I left my pen and my book on the table alone for like 3 minutes, and I come back, and this is in it. If you have brothers, you'll understand. Again, just random shapes, filling them in. This was my first attempt at like drawing, I don't know, there's a word for it, where like you draw something that doesn't exist, like an animal. So that was kind of what that was an attempt for. This is the face of one of the characters in the video game It Takes Two, which is an incredible game. And also the character design is so cool. So I just drew that. And then this is Hagrid's hut, or Hagrid's house, I don't know. There's probably a technical term for it, I don't know. But I just, about this time I had watched the Harry Potter movies, and it was super cool, super inspired by those. So yeah, did a little of this. So it's like the stone wall and the pumpkin patch and the little path leading down. And then my sister has English Cocker Spaniels, and one of them fell asleep on my lap, so I drew it. Again, it's really random, it's nothing special, but it's the practice of doing it. So it's whatever. Again, just the practice of doing it. I heard this thing where it's practice makes progress, not perfect, and that kind of like shifted something in my brain. And ever since then, like that's like I find that so cool and so like inspiring, because like you'll never be perfect. There's always something you can improve on, but practice will make progress. I think that's like such a good mentality shift from practice makes perfect, because if you think that and live that, you will always be disappointed because you will never be perfect. And then this one, I will blur the words just because it's a little personal, but this one, it's not a good drawing. In fact, it's completely disproportionate and scrambled and quick and messy, and for this, it actually works for like what it means to me and everything. It adds this like depth of uneasiness, which really honestly helps this piece a lot. But yeah. This one, so my brother-in-law is really into Elden Ring. So there's this guy in Elden Ring who his video game name is Let Me Solo Her, and essentially he solos the final boss with like a pot on his head, and like that's it for armor. And so he's like a legend at this point. So I was like, well, Winnie the Pooh gets pots stuck on his head in the TV show all the time, so why not mix them? Because that's not cursed. So I did, and it's quite something. My first attempt at an oil pastel. Now, I got these oil pastels years and years and years and years ago, and a couple of them I think are like half dried out, and they're not really like pastel colors, like soft. They're more vibrant, so with what I had to work with, I'm actually very pleased with this. So it's like a little mountain range, and then you can see like the trees, the forest, and the grasslands. It's like supposed to be like a sunset. I don't really know what I was doing. I was just winging it, but I actually really don't hate this piece. Just some very simple sketches. I was out on a walk and was just drawing things around the neighborhood. But I really like this one actually. It's just very like loose and quick, and it's kind of cool. I like it. Again, hands. I'm telling you, I have a thing for hands. They're so cool. This is from a Norman Rockwell painting. I just find his painting style so intriguing. So this is just from one of his paintings. Again, it's nothing special. It's kind of weird. It's not drawn well. It's honestly borderline disturbing, but it's the practice. This one, we were airsofting, and so I was playing with perspective. So this is my leg here. It's kind of hard to tell what you're looking at first, but this is like my foot, my leg. Here's my leg here, and this is like the gun laying across my lap, and nothing is really proportionate except my feet and leg, or foot and leg, I mean. So the gun is like janky as heck, but it was, again, just the idea of playing with the angle more. This one, okay, I love this and hate this at the same time, because this looks so demonic and possessed and like something you'd see in a horror movie. But this one I really love. So I was at my friend's house, and they were not paying attention, and I have the most beautiful friends. Like, I genuinely do. I genuinely believe that. And I was like, man, I know I can't do them justice, but I'm gonna give it a go. So I was trying to like quickly sketch them before they changed like the way their face was, and I lost, what I could do. And again, this is straight pen sketch. This is no pencil. So this is really impressive again for me, who doesn't do people. I don't do faces. But this looks very similar to Megan. Like, this is quite good, in my opinion. Now, Reagan, on the other hand, she had her hand like this, right? And she was, like, looking down. And, again, my thing with hands, it's so cool. So I drew the hand, and by the time I got done drawing the hand, she had changed, like, the way her face was angled, kind of deal. And I couldn't figure out, like, what angle she had it at when I drew the hand. So it looks really possessed. I apologize, but yeah, I really like this. Again, hands. I know this is another Norman Rockwell painting. I just loved the shading on it in his painting and stuff, and so I replicated that. And then this one is, I was just playing with textures, so like the wicker, like a wicker basket, yeah, where they're like woven together. I was just playing around with that idea. Again, another hand drawing. This is probably one of my favorites. This is again from a Norman Rockwell painting. The way that he draws hands is so cool because it's so like realistic, but also still so stylized and like expressive, I guess, that it's really cool. I really appreciate it. This is just something that I heard someone say and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget it. Suicide is boring. Impress me with your life. Just found that really cool, really inspiring, so I put it in here. This is Mash Burn Dead from Mashal. Again, amazing TV show. You should watch it. It's so funny, and I love this drawing so much. I was on a walk again, and it's a rock. I had to write it down because I wasn't sure if I'd remember what it was supposed to be in the future. So I was trying to play with like the shading of the rock with a pen. It didn't really work. I don't really still understand how that works. But again, it was an attempt. This is supposed to be my sister. This looks a lot like my sister, but it makes her look really chubby, and my sister is not chubby. So it's almost good. It's very close to being good. But it's not quite there, unfortunately. But yeah. This is from Kiki's Delivery Service. This is a Studio Ghibli anime. I really liked it, so I just drew that real quick. I find a lot of inspiration from like movies and books and etc. Then my friend was holding her drink really weird, so I drew it. Again, hands. They're so interesting and intriguing. Yet again, hands. So I found an old photo of me, and I like have this long, like way too big shirt, and I'm like holding my hands in the folds of the shirt. And I just thought it was kind of cool, so I drew it. Again, this is supposed to be Megan. So this is Megan from, where's the drawing? Yeah, so this is Megan, which both the drawings are very similar. This doesn't quite look as much like her as the other one did, but again, I was trying to do this before she noticed that I was drawing her, because if she noticed that I was drawing her, she'd get really bashful and like turn around. So I was doing this as fast as possible. And then these are all journaling things, so I'll just skip that. So this is it's like a theater building something in Nashville. It was really cool. This was like an inset dome in the ceiling, and I just thought it was really cool. So I tried to see if I could, replicate that. It didn't really do it justice, but again, I tried. Again, it didn't work, but I did try, and if you, in context of what it was supposed to be, it does kind of make sense, but this is a horrible drawing. I'm not really sure what that was supposed to be. I don't know. I don't remember. This one is a road that I drive a lot to go play volleyball with friends of mine. And I really love this one because it's like you can see like the sun coming in and like hitting over here on spots. This one I really like. This is, or was supposed to be, Hermione Granger. Again, from Harry Potter. Emma Watson is who played her, I think, right? And I was going to draw the face and everything, but then I realized eyes are too difficult. I'm not good at drawing expressions. Like, somehow every time I try to draw people's faces, they look angry. I don't understand why. But I think I did the face too long, and so I kind of just gave up, like, midway through. And then Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. I'm minorly obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. He's, like, my favorite. But this is one of my favorite scenes from the TV show. I love this so much. This is just a quick study I was doing. I think they're koi fish, I think is what it's called. I was just waiting on my brother to do something, so. And then this is a flower that I drew on a walk. Again, I really just love just taking a walk around the neighborhood and just drawing random stuff. Again, another flower from a walk. Super simple, but I really like it. This is from a video game I was playing with a friend of mine, and I was bored, so I just kind of drew some of it. Don't ask questions. A Mandalorian helmet that didn't really turn out, but it pays off. You'll see in just like a couple drawings. Just wait. Again, just some flowers on a walk. Super simple. This, my friends, is where it pays off. So all of these ones where the lines are really thin, that's all done with a Pigma Micron, because I finally found a marker / pen that I liked. So I'm using the Pigma Micron 005. So the lines were done with that, and then I went back through and shaded it again with pencil. But I really like this one. And then this one as well. This is obviously the Mandalorian. I love this one. I was having a really hard time with the gun, and the gun looks way off, especially compared to everything else. But I just went with it because I was tired of fiddling with it. And then, let's see. This is from a photo shoot that I did with a biker here in town. And it was an amazing photo shoot. I absolutely loved it. Probably one of the most favorite things I've done. She was such a joy to work with. She's so pretty. So I just drew that in here because I loved it so much. Again, another, I guess, anatomy study kind of. But like the way that muscles work and move and flex and like shading on it is so cool to me. So I just gave that a quick go. Aha, yes. And then this is obviously from How to Train Your Dragon. Because, you know, live action came out and I wanted to commemorate that and go and watch it in theaters. So I think this is from the second or third How to Train Your Dragon. I don't remember exactly. But I think it's the third one when he's like, all the dragons leave, essentially. But I don't remember for sure. We went on a family camping trip and I drew like one photo every day while we were there. But this is a pine tree. I was playing with the texture, trying to see if I could get that texture without a pencil. And I kind of did it, but I wish I had, you know, taken a little more time and done it a little better. This one, again, just a Winnie the Pooh drawing. I really love this one. It's just a very sweet moment in the TV show. I inked his leg in before I realized how weird it looked. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. This is the squirrel from The Emperor's New Groove. Amazing movie. It's hilarious. I have a thing for squirrels because of this squirrel. It's amazing. Again, another hand study. It's a Norman Rockwell painting as well. Just really love the way he does his hands. It's so cool. Alright, and then this is Puppy. My sister has seven English Cocker Spaniel puppies at the moment. And they're just so freaking cute. So I had to draw one. And yet again, Mashal, the man, the myth, the legend. It's amazing show. Recommend. This one I was trying to do like I envisioned so this person like falling, and they're like falling out of reality, kind of, I guess. And so like the world's kind of like reality is kind of shattering around them, and I didn't really get that effect, unfortunately. And maybe at a later date I will try to redo this and like do what I was thinking more. And then this is the last page, and I got to this page a couple days ago and I was like, what do I put here? Like, you know, like this is the last page. What has been a part of my life that has not gone in here yet? And I was like, oh my gosh, I've gotten to F1 like forever ago and I've never done anything. And so in ode to the F1 movie coming out finally and going and seeing it, and also not F1 not being in my sketchbook at all, I did Max Verstappen. So I didn't draw the Red Bull on his helmet because I didn't want to figure out how to draw Red Bull at the curve of the helmet. Like, I just felt like that would be really hard to do. But this is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, the best. Charles Leclerc is cute, but none of the rest of them, like, the rest of them are just mid. It's whatever. You should watch F1 though, it's fun. But yeah, so that's the last page. And then just here in the back are stickers that I collected over the course of this last year. So these are from art that I bought from some artists that I follow. And then I would keep my license, my credit card, and any money back here. And you can see it ripped once and I just taped it back. But this way, it was my wallet and I couldn't go anywhere without it because I obviously have to have my license and everything. So this was an easy way for me to make sure I always had something to draw on, because I find that most often I'm like, oh, I could draw this, but oh, well, I don't really have anywhere to draw it. So I make excuses, I don't do it, you know. So this gave me a very quick fix to be like, you always have to have it. You always will have something drawn. So I would carry this around and a pen of some kind, which initially I didn't really know what pen to use, but I finally have settled on one that I'm okay with, and that is the Pigma Micron 005. So the past few months, this has been my carrying. It goes in my back pocket, comes with me everywhere I go, does everything with me. And the reason that I prefer pen for this is because it's kind of a finality to it. Like, once you make a mark, that's it. You can't do anything else, like you can't erase it, and so your drawing can only be so good because you can never undo something. And I think that's kind of cool to me personally. So that's why, and also because the mechanical pencil I have doesn't have an eraser on the end. So if I wanted to carry the mechanical pencil, I'd have to go put this in my pocket too, which it doesn't fit in my back pocket, and just make it complicated. And I'm also afraid of like bending this like end piece as well. So I just personally, pen was better for me. And so this I got because my mom again found it, and so it's got like lines on it, as you can see, because it wasn't intended for this purpose. So I got myself a proper book this time, and it does not have lines, and it's thicker too, which I don't know if I'll appreciate that or be annoyed, but I'm super excited to see what this next year holds and how quickly I will fill this. I hope that was helpful, and I will catch you guys later.